Greetings, people of the internet. I'm Scott with Serkworks Art Labs. Welcome to this place right here. What is this place? This is the underground laboratory where we create robots, aliens, zombies, and other imminent threats to humanity. We also create comic books. We are working on this comic book right here, Young and the Dead. This is issue 1, issue 2, and issue 3. They're all available at Serkworks.com. It's a kids versus zombie story. Just think Goonies meets Night of the Living Dead. And that's my comic book. That's what I'm working on for this challenge right here that we are in the middle of. We're way more than the middle of it. We're sort of in the, are we in the home stretch? I don't know exactly what point you're in the home stretch, but I know we've got way more days behind us than we got ahead of us, so that's kind of cool. That's kind of reassuring. And we're moving right along with this challenge. So what is the challenge? This is the 100 days of making comics challenge, where we spend 30 minutes a day every day working on our own personal comic book project. Mine, like I said, is Young and the Dead. Maybe you guys are working along with the challenge. Maybe you just like to hear me talk. Maybe you're drawing on whatever. Maybe you just got this playing where you're working on your comic or whatever. That's cool. But if you are working on the challenge, good luck. You know, if you're far along, keep going. If you're just getting started, then just I don't know, just it can get a little frustrating when you're first starting off, but that's all right. That's all right. That's what this thing is, and we're all here to help. This is a cool community, so a lot of people getting involved. A lot of people have done this. Some people have succeeded. Some people haven't, but otherwise it wouldn't be a challenge. So it's, you know, just give it a shot and see what happens, and don't just, you know, well, I guess it depends on your personality. If you're the kind of person that just jumps into things and that's how you do things, I guess that's cool. I always kind of think about it a little before I jump in, and like really think about how I can do this, how I can make it work. And I've already done this once before, so I can speak as, I guess you would say, I'm a success at this, because I've done this 100 days of making comics challenge once before, but this is my second round, and so far it's going pretty well. Like I said, I'm pretty far along, so it's a cool challenge. I'm grateful that it got started by Kevin Cross, and also grateful that you know, people like Will Terrell, who recently started doing it and everything. He's got a lot. That big audience brought a lot more people in, so this thing continues to grow, and I'm sure, you know, I know Kevin, and I think it's got to make him happy that this thing has become what it has, because he, you know, when he didn't think anyone was going to do, you know, even watch this when he started doing his challenge, and then couple other people jumped in, and I jumped in, and then it just kept growing and growing, which is super cool. So that's what the challenge is all about. Where are we in the challenge? I got this big oversized pad of paper, and in my pocket I've got this big fat Sharpie. And so where are we with the challenge? We are at day 78. And if you read the little title card, the little thumbnail, you knew that before I did. So, but this is for, you know, this is for me and for you if you benefit from it, just to kind of keep track of where we are in the challenge. So I always do that. Just a little visual aid that helps me keep track of where I am. And so what am I thinking about today? Still pushing along with the comic book, but I've been thinking about, now the script is done, and a lot of times when I write the script, I'll take it into consideration if we've got, like, what kind of angles we're dealing with, what kind of panels and everything, whether it's a close-up or a, you know, a mid-shot or whatever, and I'll write that in the description. But sometimes as I draw, I kind of change that along, because sometimes I notice, well, I've got too many of the same, you know, it's kind of, you know, chest up angles, straight on. I'm like, it's just not working. I got to switch it up. So that's what I'm thinking about today, is kind of switching up your camera angles. Not always, I know sometimes it can be difficult with perspective and things, but it is really helpful if you kind of change that angle around a little bit. For instance, sometimes you want to have that kind of bird's eye view, kind of looking down or looking up, or, you know, extreme close-ups, you know, whatever, full body shots, all that kind of stuff, or maybe some shots from the back of a character, some shots from the in front of the character. But just kind of switch it up to keep it interesting, because sometimes it can get boring if you're always dealing with either talking heads or kind of all those mid shots or whatever. So just something to think about as we move on. But speaking of that, let's move on to working on the 100 Days of Making Comics Challenge, my book, Young and the Dead. We're going to go up here to the paralleloscope, where, what is that? What's the paralleloscope, you ask? You probably didn't ask if you've been watching this, because you know. But that's the device that we go to because we can view alternate realities, parallel universes, other dimensions, where an alternate version of myself is already working on the comic book, kind of pulling double duty. So I've recruited all these different timelines. Hopefully I can get it done faster that way. But let's go to the paralleloscope and see what's going on with issue 4 of Young and the Dead right now. Okay, little by little we continue to make progress on the comic book, and yeah, that's what this whole thing is about. I mean, here you see me working on this page, and I've been working on it for the past, I don't know, 3-4 episodes, maybe more. But that's what I'm doing, is I'm just putting in those 30 minutes a day, and of course we're speeding that up so you're getting in the span of a couple minutes. But you can kind of see how this process works, and you can see how this challenge works, because I'm only putting I wish I had more time to put into this, and I suppose if I had to really carve out some more time, I might be able to do that, but there's a lot of other stuff that I've also got going on. But I am putting that minimum of 30 minutes a day, and you can see we're getting close to having another finished page, and then we'll move on to the next one. So it's just, that's the whole idea behind this. You do a little bit, and it adds up. And that's the whole nature of the challenge. Whoa, I just got a big fat brush stroke right there. I think I can correct that, or part of that will be obscured or cut off because it'll bleed. But anyway, those are kind of, when you're working traditionally, those are the kind of mistakes you make, but everything's fairly easy to fix. And then I made another little mistake over on the top of that guy's head, as you can see. But no big deal. We'll fix that. Now, if you're working digitally, of course, that's a different story. Now, I have been moving away again from digital, and I'm hoping to get back to it, but in order to get these back to what we're talking about, is getting these out, I've got to do what works best, and it's just because I don't always have that computer with me, and I don't have any kind of mobile setup. So if I'm in a position where I need to get a page done, I'm just going to start penciling traditionally. Now, hopefully we'll get back to working some more in Manga Studio and kind of get to the point where maybe I'll be able to do the whole thing that way. But for now, we're just going to keep pushing along by any means necessary to get this book done and complete, and get going. And that's what the challenge is all about. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you know that I've been battling with my yard, trying to get it back into shape, and that battle's kind of ongoing, and it's just the beginning. I've got a long way to go, but I got to get a new lawnmower because my neighbor kind of stole my other one. He was doing some yard work, and he borrowed it to fix it, and I never saw it again. So, but I needed a new one. So anyway, got the new lawnmower, so that's going to help out with this task of getting this lawn back together. All right, back in the backyard once again. As you can see, I kind of let the whole thing kind of die out, but I did get a brand new lawnmower. It's over there. Where is it? There it is. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and mow this stuff. Super exciting stuff, I know, but the whole idea of I just want to kind of chronicle my process, because hopefully by the end of this 100 days, this thing will look nice and green again, and it'll look like a backyard. So anyway. We're back, and it's time to say goodbye to another day, but that's cool because that means we're one more day further along. So day 78, we're going to crumple that up, and that's just going to symbolize that day is done. We're going to look forward to day 79. Man, we're getting there. See you tomorrow for day 79, and that is all. Hey everyone, you've seen the process. Now you can check out the story. Issues 1 through 3 of Young and the Dead are available at my website at Serkworks.com. Also follow me on social media at the links listed below. Subscribe and check out some of the other videos in the series. There's much more to come.